Hey, I'm Julie, Fei-Fan Balzer, and one of the questions I get asked all the time is about how PES designs work with your ScanNCut machine. So today, I'm going to show you all about that.
So the first thing I'm going to do is retrieve my PES files, which are on a USB thumb drive. And you can see I have a couple different PES files. I have this one here, I have the Christmas tree, and I have the cake stand. Now these are all different kinds of PES files, so I want to show you how they all work differently. So first up, this embroidery file has no applique in it. It's pure embroidery. You can see it right there. So if I hit the applique button, the machine is going to tell me right away. It doesn't contain any line data for applique, so that's okay. Now, if I hit this button right over here, the flower, you can see I can actually change the size. And if you've ever worked with embroidery files, you know that normally you can't change the size of an embroidery design, right? Because it's digitized to be something certain, but it's no longer an embroidery file essentially when we're taking it into our machine, so we can play with the size. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. And now it's giving me several options. So let's decode the different icons that we have here. So the circle and the square, where you can see them both, that means it's going to give me sort of the inline and the outline option, okay? The sort of inside and outside. The circle and the square, where they appear to be welded together, that's just going to give me the basic outline. And then this, which looks like a zigzag stitch, this is going to give me something that looks like stitches. So it's actually like as if this picture, you could draw it now with your ScanNCut. There's also this really exciting button here. So let me show you how this one works. You can now see the design broken down by color: white, green, blue, turquoise, yellow, and then the same circle, square, okay, and welded, but slightly different than on the previous page because right now it's done by color. And of course you can return to the previous screen either by using the back button, or if you just want to go back one screen, you simply unclick this color breakdown button. So what can you do with these files? So something like this, which is a pure outline, you could actually cut with that, okay? Something like this, you could foil with, you could emboss with. You can't really cut with it though. And same with the stitching line, you can't really cut with that. And with all these color breakouts too, a lot of them look like they might be cuttable files, but they're not really. Let me show you what this yellow looks like if we take it in. So there it is. And I'm actually going to hit the ungrouping button because I want you to see how many different pieces make this up. Set. You can see it right here. And now you can see all those little boxes. So if we jump around, there's so many different little pieces, and if we zoom in, can you see how it's actually sort of double lines? Let me actually take a moment. I'm going to just group all of this together for a second so that I can show you what this really looks like. So we're going to make it huge. Okay, so now when I zoom in, I think if you went to cut this, you'd be frustrated. Can you see how there's actually two lines here? And then if we navigate around, for instance, to these little center bits, can you see how like this doesn't even close shut? There's like a triangle and then a thing inside and then another thing. It's not what it appears to be because this was not originally cutting data. So this is really, again, better for drawing, foiling, embossing, something like that you're going to do with it. But it's still fun to be able to play around with them. So let's talk about some of those other PES designs. So now this is a PES applique design and this is a PES applique design. That's hard to say 10 times fast, but they're actually slightly different. And let me show you the difference. So this Christmas tree is one that I downloaded from an applique website. And I know that the tree is applique, okay? But if I click here, it says this pattern does not contain cutting line data for appliques, and that's because the PES file itself, whoever designed it, has not indicated that part of it needs to be cutting line data. So I can't actually use this button. I can, of course, use this button, and you'll see the same options, right? Inline outline. I can get the sort of welded shape. I can get the stitch. I can break it out by color. There's my yellow. There's my orange. Okay, and broken out again. So let me show you what the stitch looks like. It's kind of cool. Let's say set. And again, I'm going to make this really big so that you can see it extremely well. Okay, so you can see now, because we're in the extreme close-up, it's the stitches. It's literally just all of that stitching there. So this would be super fun for drawing, for foiling, you know, but not, you can't really cut this, okay? But one of your other options, actually, if we go back, for instance, this one right here, this could be really cute actually as a cutting file. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So you can see here, it looks like a nice, clean cutting file that you could definitely use to make something cute. Almost like, it almost looks like a cookie cutter or something, right? Because it's getting that whole shape. So that's a really cool option for you. Now let's go back and look at the last type of PES file. So here is the cake. Now this PES file is also an applique, and if I click on the applique button, ta-da, it shows me that the cake stand can be cut out, and that is meant to be a piece of fabric applique. So that's really cool to have. I can, of course, still use the flower button and get to all those other options. The inline outline, just the outline, the stitch data, break it down by color. And you can see again here, whatever colors you want. And of course, one of the big differences is if you wanted to pull out this platter, you can't really do it here, right? It doesn't finish the line and it's not a single shape. Whereas if you actually have the applique data, you can see that this is perfectly in here, and this, you could cut out your fabric really easily for your applique. So a couple of different choices here with your applique designs. I think they're lots of fun to play with, and it really opens up what you can do with designs that you already own, because you can really customize and make some very cool things. Look how cute this cake stand is, and now we can cut it out of paper instead of just having an applique. And of course, we can make it any size we want, which really adds a lot of versatility to your applique designs, which normally cannot be changed in size that significantly. So, super duper cool fun with applique.
Thanks so much for watching. For more tips, tricks, and tutorials, be sure to check out my blog at balzerdesigns.typepad.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, don't forget about the ScanNCut website at ScanNCut.com.